How you doing?
What's up?
You doing all right?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. Been a little minute.
It's been a long ass time.
Yeah. Okay. What
hmm
you on?
What you say?
Oh, I said, what you sipping on?
That is a little Jack Daniels Tennessee honey.
Okay. Shout out to Jack Daniels.
Little Jack, my friends at Jack sent that over last year, and I'm just now opening it. So yeah.
Okay. Shout out to Kevin Gentry. He got to take this Jack Daniels on lock. Anyway,
Yes, 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 yes.
so anyway, welcome to the YouKnowDessie show. I really appreciate you for taking the time to be on the show. And so
Absolutely.
yeah. So I just
Thank you for having me. We go way back.
Yeah, back to working for Tom Joyner together
Yes, and full
at,
time. Yep.
at Reach, and you're still affiliated with Radio One.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to have you on the show and have you kind of talk about you and what you do over at TV One, and then
Yeah.
just so people can know exactly who you are and what you do. I just wanted to spotlight you.
I feel like I'm dark. Am I dark?
You fine, but that's
Okay.
light, so that's cool.
Is that better? I don't know. Okay. So, okay, yeah. So I'm the senior producer of digital and social media at TV One. I've been there for 3 years.
Okay.
And before that, like you said, I worked with Tom Joyner as his senior or as his digital content producer in Dallas. So now I am in DC,
Yeah.
living the good old East Coast life for a little bit.
Yeah.
Creating content here at TV One for our digital and social platforms, and then sometimes it goes on air, which is great too. It's a little flex for me there, but yeah.
So I wanted to, of course, we gonna keep it light some, and then we gonna keep it real some too. So,
Okay. I keep it real all the time. You know that, Desi. Come on.
absolutely. So I wanted to talk about a couple of the things that you produced, because you produced a couple like reunion things. So can you kind of talk about some of those projects?
Yeah. So, TV One airs a lot of original programming,
Hmm.
which we know like Unsung, Fatal Attraction, For My Man, some of those bigger uncensored. So the network decided to acquire a lot of our favorite shows. So of course, Sanford and Son, The Jeffersons, a whole bunch of older
Yeah.
older programming. So when I got there, I was waiting to see what we were going to do when it came to like some of the '90s shows.
Okay.
We used to have Martin back in the day, and we had that for a few years and then got rid of that. So when we acquired Living Single,
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, okay, this is like my vibe." I was raised on Living Single; those are my
Oh
girls.
yeah.
And so I got to TV One in 2017, and I knew that in 2018 it would be their 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
So I pitched the idea to our head of marketing and said, hey, how about we already aired the show,
Yeah.
so how about we do a 25th cast reunion in 2018?
Uh huh.
And they said yes, and they gave me like $50,000, and they said make it work with $50,000,
Yeah.
which is not a lot of money. It is not a lot of money when it comes to producing a reunion in Los Angeles with almost the entire cast, and then hiring production. It's not a lot. But they let me work, and it was great. And our team produced the 25th anniversary cast reunion for Living Single. In 2019, I produced the 30th anniversary cast reunion for Family Matters,
Uh-huh.
because Family Matters turned 30 in 2019.
That's it.
So it just made sense to combine that on-air programming with digital and social.
Yeah, because everybody had definitely been looking for Laura. Like, where Laura been? Like, we see Steve here and there, but don't nobody see Laura.
We love Kelly. Yes, Kelly. Kelly's great. She's great. And they look good. Like, you got to understand, like 30 years later,
Yeah.
like they honestly look amazing. It's one of the cast, one of the only casts where everyone is still alive for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to see our faces and to celebrate, nostalgia, and just thank them for what they did 30 years ago.
Yeah, when you were talking about some of those old shows, like my favorite show ever is like Sanford and Son, but ain't no reunion for Sanford and Son. Like,
No,
you
no. And I even at work when we talk about reunions, I always say like we don't need to go beyond 30 years.
right.
Because when you go beyond 30, you run the risk of one, people not being there.
Uh-huh.
They've died, or they just don't look the best. And we always want to, make sure they look as nice as they can.
Well, yeah. So talk about your transition over from working for Tom Joyner and going over to TV One. 'Cause
Yeah, so I was with Tom for 3 years. I sat next to him or across from him every morning in the studio in Dallas. And it was great. It was beautiful. It was a full circle moment for me. I mean, I grew up listening to Tom, literally like many of us,
Yeah.
in the backseat of my mama car
Yeah.
on the way to school. So I'm listening to him every morning, and then 20 plus years later now I'm working for him. So it was definitely a full circle moment. I loved every moment of it. It gave me so much room to grow professionally. But I was bored.
Yeah.
I was bored. I was bored after about 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, and so I started telling our head of marketing that, and I work in the marketing department. So if I reference marketing a lot, that's why.
Yeah.
So I was telling my boss, the head of marketing, like, look, I'm bored. I want to do more. I can't do more.
Yeah.
What can I do? Yeah, I already make shit. You know what I mean? I make nothing and I'm bored. So what you gonna do to keep me here?
Yeah.
And he was very honest with me. He was like, Krystal, we can't do much.
Yeah.
We can't do much. We can't give you any more money. We can't do anything. You can't really do a lot more in your position.
Yeah.
So I said, cool. Well, I said, well, I'm gonna quit. I said, I'm gonna quit, and I'm just letting you know now. I'm going to quit. Probably. This was 2016.
Yeah.
I said I'm going to quit on my 3rd anniversary here, which was March 2018. I'm gonna quit, or March 2017. I'm gonna quit, and I'm gonna move to LA.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, we can work something out. I was like, no, I'm quitting. I'm leaving. So I go to HR. And I always say that I think you should have an advocate in HR for you. If you have someone in HR that they can kind of look out for you. So I told this white girl, this white lady named Amy.
Amy, I love Amy. Amy is one of my.
Amy is my girl.
Yes.
Amy put me up on game.
Yeah.
So I went to HR and I was like, Amy, I'm quitting. I'm quitting in about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I'm bored. Marty said he can't give me no more money. I got nothing else to do. Shout out to Marty Rapp.
Yeah.
And she was just like, quit. She was like, well, what do you want to do? And so I told her about my dreams of working in television. And she said, well, have you ever thought about TV One? And I was like, no. She was like, that's like our sister company. Like we're under all. I was like, we do work. And we work with them. And I knew that. Yeah. But for whatever reason, I never thought about them. So she said, think about TV One, go on the website, see if there's some positions that you are interested in, and let me know and let Marty know. And so long story short, that happened at the end of 2016. I started to get in contact with people at TV One, the head of marketing at the time, Lori Hall at TV One. Marty set it all up.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, on my 3rd anniversary, I was now in Silver Spring, Maryland, not LA, but at least I was working in TV. So
But that's really great because, like, see, when young people get over there, we all had kind of the same thing. Because, I was over there a couple of times too. Like, because the first time I was I was selling the cruise and it was cool. And it was like, okay, all right, what else?
But what else?
Yeah, and then so I left, and then they brought me back in part-time selling the cruise where I could still do everything that I wanted to do, and I ain't have to sit up there no 40 hours. You know what I'm saying? So.
And you know me, I was in the studio at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m. I was at work. I got up at 3 every morning. I was at work at 4. My hours were from 4 to 1.
Yeah.
So people don't realize that they hear, oh, you work for Tom Joyner. Yeah, I was there in the morning for 3 years.
Yeah.
At 4 o'clock in the morning is when I started to work. So people don't see often the shit that you really have to do.
Yeah. And then when they made me Tom's assistant, it was like, that's a big deal. Like
huge.
But it's like, okay, I can't go nowhere else though. Like, okay, It ain't like you go to the assistant and then you get a shot on air next. Like, it's a feeling. And so I had an amazing time. I got to travel the world, see some things. You fly in the private jet, but at some point it's like, all right.
What next?
Yeah. And being able to not worry about if the phone ring or not, because when you're working for Tom, if the phone ring, you gotta answer it. And so as soon as I was out of that role, it was great to just, I'm gonna let that ring. I'm gonna catch the next one.
Yeah. I mean, and I loved it. It was 3 of the best years of my life professionally. I mean, Tom is amazing. I will always speak well of him because he taught me so much.
Yeah.
He allowed me to do so much beyond my role.
Yeah.
I was supposed to just be in there putting the show on the website.
Yeah.
And I told, Marty that I wanted to do more with interviewing talent when they got off the air with him.
Yeah.
And I told it to Tom, and he was like, as long as you ain't doing nothing to interrupt the show, you can do whatever you want to do. And so he allowed me to, take the talent that was on his show and put them, give them a little bit more time to talk and do some things on the website. And it was beautiful. So it was great.
And that was a great time working for Reach as well, because it's like, this is black business, but it's like real black business. It ain't, it's real black corporate business. So you
real black.
Yeah, and I love that, because if you haven't worked in like real black business, you don't really understand it. So, so talk about, are you able to, or I guess with everything that's currently going on, like, and this is, regarding the pandemic as well as, the racism that's going on right now. So I do miss working with a black company in that sense, because we understand differently, and we understand the problems and different things like that. So how have you adjusted with working with what you do during the pandemic?
Yeah, so I mean, life, as many of us know, it has changed, but especially when you're in an industry that is directly affected by something like COVID. So working in media, you are directly affected. Obviously, nothing is being shot, right? All productions have been shut down. Money has been pulled. Advertisers have pulled out of a lot of things. So when you work in radio, they feel it the most because there are no more advertisers. Like, advertisers are saying, okay, that $100,000 spot that I spent, I now want to take it back down to 20,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that money affects, the people that do what they do every day.
Yeah.
And when you transition into TV, same thing. TV One has been affected a lot. Like, we had salary reductions, which I was a part of. We had furloughs, we had layoffs. All of that happened within 48 hours.
Yeah.
So, we definitely have been affected because, we're not bringing in any money because advertisers are like, okay, we pulling this.
Yeah.
We pulling this down a bit. So outside of the physical stuff, like the stuff that we do for fun, the productions, the stuff that's fun and cute and beautiful to see on Instagram and on air.
Yeah.
That's been affected, and I miss being on set 1,000%. I really do.
Yeah.
But just our mental, like, we're like, okay, we're a little nervous because if Hollywood don't open back up soon, we may be faced with some more decisions that we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do. There's nothing running new on the air right now. Everything is reruns, and that affects your bottom line.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that part has definitely been difficult. When it comes to, working at a Black-owned company during times like this, as far as George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, it's comforting, but it still doesn't take away from the pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes, even if you do work for a Black-owned company, it doesn't mean that your feelings are addressed.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, and I get it. It's business, business first. But it's difficult I think, to work at any company. I think you think it's easier because you work for a Black-owned company, and in some ways it is, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that I still have to come to work. I still have to come to work today.
Yeah.
And I still have to show up, and I still was responsible for things. And, it's just hard. It's hard.
Yeah. So, so with that, I know I seem like I've seen you doing more things like going live with people, I should say. So has that been some of the things that you're creating yourself, or have you just been a guest on platforms and things like that? How's that?
You know what? Honestly, this is only the second live that I have done. And I purposely have not done a lot of lives just because, I think I get this is a time to be creative, and it is, but I've been creating for over a decade. Like, that's literally been my job. Like, it's to get up every morning and to produce, whether it's a big production like a Family Matters, or whether it's something for the website or social media. Like, that's what I do. So I didn't feel any pressure to create something or tap into anything during this time. It did allow me to say, okay, you know what? You've been making everybody else some money. How about you tap into your stuff a little bit more?
Yeah.
So I have taken a lot of time to just really think about what I want to do personally outside of TV One, outside of what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So that's been great. That's the one thing that I can say that has been, that's the many thing. One of the many things I can say that has been really great about this downtime is that God slowed it up, and he said, okay, you said you wanted X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And you had all these excuses as to why you wasn't doing it. Now, guess what? You ain't got to leave your house every day.
Yeah.
So figure it out. So that time for me has been great. And in this time, I launched a podcast, which was not supposed to happen. It was not supposed to be a thing. I had been saying I wanted to do a podcast since 2009. And I've been like, no, I'm not doing it. No one cares what I have to say. No one cares. I'm not that special. I don't have that much of an opinion.
Yeah.
Even though I got a whole bunch of opinions.
Real. Like, who said?
And I just did it. I did it. And I'm proud of it. And it launched last week, which was great.
Yeah.
And it's been doing well. So I tapped into a little bit of creativity.
Good.
I did a little bit.
Yeah, and from my understanding, you had like 2 or 3 already in the can before you even launched.
I had 5 in the can, baby. Baby, I launched with 5 on that day. I launched with 5.
Yeah. So so talk about the name of it, when it comes out.
Yeah, you know what? It's called the Taking Up Space podcast. And for me, I have not operated at 100% of Krystal.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been doing it for a very long time. I've been giving so many parts of myself to everybody else, either a dude, my job, family, my friends. I've been giving everybody else all these pieces of me. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? You can't fully be a good girlfriend. I am not nobody's girlfriend. So if anybody cute watching, go on and DM me. But, you can't be a good girlfriend. You can't be a good daughter. You can't be a good friend, employee, whatever, if you don't take care of yourself first and that you don't nurture your gifts and your talent.
Okay.
And so I wanted to take up all the space in the world, and whatever spaces I occupy at TV One in my personal life, I just want to show up 100% as Krystal.
Yeah.
So I made the decision last year to really take up space in every area of my life.
Okay.
And so the podcast is just encouraging people to take up space in the world. Like, we want to live life. I saw my friend Tiffany Black said, I like my life, but I want to love it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like that shit. Like, I like my life too, but I want to love my life.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things where I was like, you know what, I really want to just operate as big as I can within my own life. I want to take up all the space.
Yeah.
Whatever space I occupy, I want to show up fully as Krystal. So I did that with the podcast, and it's stories about life and love and everything in between. And it really is encouraging you to show up as you, whether it's as a good family member, as a good wife, girlfriend, spouse, partner, as a good employee. It literally is about just recognizing what you have inside of you and then giving it all to the world, no matter who like it, who don't like it. If they don't like the way it smells, they don't like the way it look, it don't matter. Yeah. We want you to take up all the space in the world. Yeah.
And what's the format of the show? Is it is it just you? Is it guests? Just you?
It's just me, baby. It's just me. The first season is going to be just me.
Okay.
And the second season, I'm probably going to, tap on my little celebrity friends to come on and talk about how they take up space in the world. But it's just me talking about, managing expectations, working through disappointment, showing up, even though you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Speaking in places that you've outgrown. Loves, a lot of love, a lot of life talk. And it's real, honest, colorful stories about what I have been through in my professional journey and my personal journey as a, fatherless daughter, raised in a single parent home. Like, it's some real shit on there. So I'm really proud of it. I really, really am.
Yeah. And it's on all platforms?
It is on Spotify. It's on Google. We're working on Apple. I am a PC girl. I am an Android girl. So we're working on getting it on y'all little iTunes and stuff so y'all can have it. But right now it's on Spotify and Google, which is that's some big platform.
Absolutely. And and we should talk about that as well, because I'm trying to, my goal is to create a podcast network. That's like one of my goals right now. And so,
I like that.
Yeah. And so my goal is I'm going to do it regardless. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to call on Oscar and take them that direction. Because if you take them that direction, it's going to come with ad dollars already.
Correct. And we'd like to be monetizing our gifts.
Exactly. Yes. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So
that's cool. I like that idea. Like a Black podcast network.
Exactly. Because it does not exist currently.
Right, right. And you got to put in your search bar for what you need. You just find a home for everyone. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And then you can take the same approach, but because you can have different ones on different subjects and things like that, think about like, and I don't know that he would ever do it himself, but imagine a Kurt Franklin on a podcast network because there's nothing in that space.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's only on Sirius. He's a Sirius channel, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. So
I like that.
yeah, but
I like that.
yeah. So before I wrap you up, I want to take all day, but before I get you out of here,
You good?
got a shout.
I'm good. I told you I got a 4 o'clock,
Yeah,
but you good.
we got to shout out to HBCUs. So go ahead. And
I mean, you guys should know by now. Everyone in my life knows I am a proud graduate of the Grambling State University, home of the world famed marching band. You know, Grambling football. There would be no black people in the NFL if it wasn't for Grambling. You know how we do. You know what we've done. So yeah, I'm a proud ass graduate. I talk about it loudly. I talk about it proudly. I go to homecoming every goddamn year. Donate. I'm part of the Alumni Association. So I love Grambling. I really, really do.
okay, and then you got to shout out to your sorority.
I'm in a little sorority. I am. I don't know if you might have heard of it. It's just a little baby sorority, you know, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I turned 15 this year, which is incredible. It's crazy to think that I've been in a sorority for 15 years.
Yeah.
It feels like 30 years, child. But it's been good. It's been fun. 2020 is a beautiful year. I know it's a lot of ugly shit going on, but I still hold fast that it's going to be beautiful. It's going to reveal a lot of things. It's going to allow us to if you take advantage or if you really tap in, it's going to allow you to really demand some things to happen for you in 2021.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to the narrative that this is a horrible year and this is a shit year and it's horrible and I'm ready for 2021. No, I got 6 more months left. I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to hope that they grow me in areas I need to be grown in and strengthen me up. And I'm still hoping for some good shit to happen in my life. I know some good shit is going to happen in my life before the end of the year. So I want to encourage y'all to make sure y'all stop talking like that and stop telling yourself that 2020 is a bad year. It is not a bad year. It's an uncomfortable year. It's an year where you probably angry as hell and you have the right to be, but it doesn't mean that good things still can't happen.
Man, so on that note, I am going to get you out of here. That was perfect. That was perfect.
That was good, right? Maybe let me put my cash up. Y'all want to give me some money?
There you go. Throw it on.
I'm joking. I am joking. I am playing. People ain't got no jobs out here. I ain't asking for no money.
But thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Dessie. We got it. When I come back to Dallas, can we go to Park and can I get some wings and can I get some Duce?
Got you. All of that.
Okay, good.
All right, cool. You have a.
Thank you so much. Bye, y'all. Have a good day.
All right, peace.